Hello, my name's Amy, the Worry Wizard, and I've got something magical to share with you today, our very first Worry Wizard story starter. I'm going to begin a story and I would love you to finish it. If you've already enjoyed one of our magical story starters and you know how to use them, you don't need to watch this bit again. You can skip straight to the next chapter where our story starter begins. Just look for the timestamp in the description below and jump right into the adventure. Our story starters are perfect for any time of day or night, giving you the magical beginning to a brand new story. Sometimes the hardest part of storytelling is knowing where to begin. But don't worry, I've taken care of that bit for you. With a story starter, you get an exciting first step to ignite your imagination. From here, it's all up to you. Maybe you'll decide you want to write what happens next. Maybe you'll decide to speak it out loud, or perhaps imagine it inside of your head. Whichever way is right for you, whichever way helps you feel most comfortable. As with all things Worry Wizard, you do you. There's no right or wrong ways, just endless possibilities. Story starters not only inspire creativity, but they also help you stretch your imagination and explore new ideas. They can be particularly helpful if you're thinking about something tricky and you need a positive, engaging focus. Sometimes worries just want you to think about them. They don't want you to think about anything else. But if you dive into one of our story starters and allow your imagination to take over, it might nudge some of those worries out of the way. Once you get started, you'll discover just how exciting it is to create your own stories. And this is just the beginning. We are building a whole library of story starters, or a playlist of story starters, over time. That way, you can choose the one that excites or inspires you the most, whether you want to dive into a written adventure or share your story out loud. So grab a pen, pencil, or maybe just your voice and dive into the adventure of storytelling with us, with our first Worry Wizard story starter. I can't wait to see or hear where your imagination takes you. Happy imagining. You might want to close your eyes and listen to the story, letting your imagination paint the pictures, or you can keep watching the screen where, every so often, we'll share a little illustration with you to help you imagine the story, whichever is most comfortable for you. It's time for our story starter, Sonny's magical journey, finding courage and belief. Sonny's mind felt full of horrible noise, a tangled mess of thoughts that whispered. No, they weren't whispering. The thoughts were shouting. Stay in your room, Sonny. Don't go to band practice tonight. Your band doesn't need you. They'd rather carry on without you. Oh, Sonny. The words got louder and then louder. Sonny felt his chest tightening, and not just his chest. His heart began to ache, a heavy, heavy ache. He curled up in the corner of his bed, his eyes catching sight of his keyboard in the corner of the room. He remembered the day he got it, the excitement he felt, the possibilities it brought. His future seemed to light up before him. Everything felt possible. There was nothing that he and his keyboard couldn't achieve. His dreams felt so much nearer. The memories of those first few months with his friends, starting his band, the Jet Boot Crew, everyone's excitement, the music he was creating, the laughter. Oh, it was all so bright. But now it sat, still, silent as he felt. With every passing second, Sonny's belief in himself seemed to shrink smaller and smaller still. A sharp knock at his bedroom door shattered the quiet. "Sonny," his dad called through, his voice soft but steady. "Em said the band really missed you at practice tonight. Jack told her they sounded awful without your keyboards, and Em said she couldn't find her harmonies without you. They wanted to make sure you'll come next time, Sonny. They all said you matter. The words slipped past the tight knot of Sonny's thoughts and nudged their way into his mind. It felt like they were trying to elbow his worries aside. His worries resisted at first, but as Sonny thought about Jack's words, Jack never said anything he didn't mean. The nudging gained strength. Could it be true? Sonny wondered. Could I matter that much? Before he could stop himself, his imagination sprang to life like an old film flickering on the TV. He saw himself walking along a winding brick path lined with glowing lanterns that cast a warm golden light. The path led to a house. No, not a house, a mansion, with 3 towering stories and windows that sparkled like the stars above. The enormous front door was already open, inviting him inside. As he stepped inside, what he saw made him stop. The entrance hall was bigger than any room Sonny had ever seen, and there, in one corner, was a setup worthy of the biggest bands in the world. Sat there, waiting for music magic to happen, and there, right at its heart, sat his keyboard. The room had a magical energy to it, a sense of anticipation. Everything is possible here. Sonny remembered those early days with his keyboard when his dreams felt so much closer. The house seemed to whisper, "You belong here, Sonny." Sonny's lips curled into the smallest of smiles and a spark of hope ignited in his chest. Maybe, just maybe, his imagination was onto something. Then, out of the corner of his eye, Sonny noticed something unusual. In the far corner of the room stood a bright red telephone box with the words "Belief Box" emblazoned above the door. Curiosity piqued, Sonny walked over and stepped inside. As soon as the door closed behind him, the box filled with the voices of those who cared about him. "Your friends all said you matter, Sonny," his dad's voice said softly and steadily. "You matter to me too." "We believe in you," his friends' voices echoed. "You make everything better just by being you." Sonny felt the warmth of their words wash over him, melting away the last of his doubts. He stepped out of the belief box with a newfound sense of purpose. Maybe, just maybe, he could believe in himself too. Now, it's your turn to continue Sonny's adventure. What do you think happens next? How does Sonny's belief and courage help him along the way? What about his imagination? I'd love you to let your imagination run wild and tell us what happens next in Sonny's stories. We can't wait to hear your amazing ideas. If you'd like to share your story starter with us, ask a grown-up to help you post it in the comments below, or you could send it to us through our special email address. You'll find it on our Worry Wizard YouTube channel. We can't wait to see where your imagination takes you. But for now, I'm sending you well-being wishes from me, Amy, the Worry Wizard.